Hi everyone, it's Giselle, and today I want to talk about how we often question whether we actually chose this journey. I know people in this community say that we chose our spiritual journeys, but I feel that with the twin flame one, it's less of a conscious choice. It sort of happens to you and for you, but had we known what this would be like, I don't feel we would have chosen it, if I'm honest, because it's so hard sometimes, a lot of times, more often than we probably like to admit. And people say that we chose this path before we were born. Maybe we did. Not many of us can actually access that kind of feeling or information. And even if you do delve into the Akashic records, it just feels so disjointed, I would say. And right now, it doesn't feel like a choice. It's like something you signed up for, but you can't unsubscribe. And I know I'm trying to make light of it, but it's just, I feel it's important to talk about this kind of thing because the other person who you're on this journey with might think, hey, I didn't choose this, but neither did we. I wanted love and romance. I didn't want heartache and my life completely being overhauled. I know that eventually it is for the better. The things that have happened, whilst they were very difficult at the time, in hindsight now do serve a purpose and feel more aligned with the big picture. But each and every event that breaks you down, you think, oh my God, I can't take any more. And somehow you make it through and you do get on to the next thing that needs fixing. It's usually things like societal expectations. Society thinks it's great to have loads of friends, but if those friends aren't loyal and with you in your time of need or even betray you, what's the point in having them? Society expects you to treat family with love and respect, which is great and all, especially if they treat you with love and respect, but if they abuse you and use you and do unspeakable things that, yeah, you'd rather not get into, then it's good to cut them off. It's good to choose yourself. And your life may not look like the typical life that society expects you to have. You may be self employed, you may still live in an apartment on your own, may not have a family, your own family, I mean like kids and stuff. And your own family, the ones that you do have close to you, is a small circle. Things like that. And society may turn their nose up at it and go, well, that's not very, um, that doesn't paint a good picture. That's not what we expect from you. But then, do you want to uphold those standards just to keep up appearances? Because that's going against your soul. Being a doormat, being taken for granted, being a people pleaser is not what makes you feel good about yourself and shouldn't be the standard for how you live your life. And a lot of people who adhere to societal standards they give too much of themselves, and then they wonder why they feel depressed or depleted or unhappy, unfulfilled. And yes, this journey is hard. I'm not going to even try and sugarcoat it. It is hard. But whilst you may not have consciously chosen it, you can decide how you come out of it. Because you may not be able to just disconnect, cut it off, and release. I mean, God knows I've tried. Cord cuttings, all sorts of things like that. Nope, doesn't seem to work. It reattaches. You still get shoved onto the path. The universe saying, no, we're not done with you. So what are you going to do? You are going to come out glowing. You are going to take each challenge and make it through. Not just make it through, but make the most of it. And I guess that's where we have some sort of control, is how do we want to come out of this journey? Because you're not broken for questioning your path. You're not less spiritual for feeling tired, drained and exhausted of it all, and just wanting to give up, but for some reason can't. And perhaps you didn't choose this consciously, but you can choose how you walk through it now. You can choose to let it awaken your truth without losing yourself to the pain. Because you can choose to not let this journey make you suffer. You were chosen by it to remember who you are. Because I know for me, ultimately, all the things that I have gone through have eventually worked out for me and have helped me to create the life that I did want. It may have taken crazy turns where I would have thought, well, wasn't there any other way to get around that and achieve it, in a more gentle way perhaps? But sometimes things need to happen quite dramatically, and I guess you got to roll with the punches and make the best out of your situation. And I just wanted to make this video for everyone who feels like they're alone. You're not alone. We're all going through different but similar versions of the same thing. This journey started out with hope and positivity for a love of a lifetime type of event, and then all of the setbacks, not just with the person, not just with your person, it's with everything. I find with work, with family, with friends, with life circumstances, with your health, everything. And eventually it does turn you into a better version of yourself, but I totally get why it can feel so isolating. It seems like if you chose a spiritual path consciously and said, okay, I'm going to be spiritual now, but not have all of this extra your person drama and all of that, it might have been easier, but perhaps you wouldn't have learned everything you have learned. I know for myself, back in my last long-term relationship, this is well over, gosh, how long ago was that? About, well over 10 years, but probably longer. 12, 13 years. I was a people pleaser, and I wanted to do everything to do things right, to make my family proud of me, despite me feeling that they would never really be proud of me no matter what I did. Achieve certain milestones, have kids, get married, all of that kind of stuff. And now I'm glad I didn't, because A, the person wasn't right for me, and B, it doesn't resonate with me anymore. Not that path. Certain things I might still want to experience, but not in the traditional way that it was laid out and taught to me that was the right way to go. I don't have to get people's approval for things anymore. I don't care. That's the thing. You, through this journey, lose the need for external validation. You don't need people to validate you anymore because you value yourself and you prioritize your happiness above appearances. And that's actually freeing. And so I choose to not allow this journey to get me down. I know that it's full of challenges and full of obstacles and overhauls of a lot of life situations. And you may not have control of that. Nobody really does. But you can decide how you want to come out of it. And I choose me. I choose my happiness. And I don't care what society thinks. They'll say I've done it all wrong, but it doesn't bother me because I'm happy. I am fulfilled. And that's the important thing. So whilst we may not have chosen this path, it chose us, and I choose to make the most of it. I hope this message helped you. I've been posting a lot of shorts recently. I just wanted to briefly mention that because I'm not sure if everyone can see them or if they pop up to my regular subscribers, because it shows that a lot of people viewing them are new. But if you don't see them, there is a section on my page, if you go and look for me on YouTube, that will allow you to view my shorts and see how you get on and if you like them. But thank you for being here and listening. Have a beautiful day.